What's happening there to that hand?
It's raising.
It is, and it's getting funnier and funnier and funnier, isn't it? It's getting funnier and funnier and funnier. And as that balloon moves that hand towards your head, it gets even funnier. It becomes a belly laugh. It does. In this week's video, we're looking at a beautiful clip where you're going to learn about inductions, you're going to learn about health and safety, and you're going to see some lovely skits as well. So if you want to see that and want to get the tutorial breakdown on things that are happening inside that street hypnosis clip, then keep watching and find out. Hi there, it's Turan here from Feel Good Hypnosis, and in this week's hypnosis tutorial video I'm going to be giving you a video clip of me doing street hypnosis at QCon in Queen's University. You'll see the beautiful Queen's University Belfast in the background. It's at Comic-Con, a QCon should I say, so you'll see them in nice decorative costumes. And inside this clip there's going to be a hypnotic induction plus some skits being carried out. So there's a nice little packed video for you to watch. I'm then going to break that video down. I'm going to give you highlights of the advice that you'll see through the video, giving you the tips and advice about getting started with the induction, and very importantly health and safety tips as well. So do keep watching. It's going to be a packed video today, and I'm really looking forward to giving you this advice. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, make sure you give it a like, and don't forget to click the big red subscribe button and the grey notification bell button next to that subscribe button so you get notified every time a new video comes out from myself. And if you have any comments about the videos, maybe there's something that you saw in the video that I've missed or you want me to elaborate on, put it in the comment section below. I really want to hear from you. I love seeing your comments, I love giving feedback, and if there's something else that you haven't seen in this video that you're looking out for, leave it in the comment section below, and hopefully I'll have a clip that will be able to help and describe your wishes. So in the meantime, let's watch the video. If you like training on hypnosis and you want to know more about how to learn hypnosis, keep watching right at the end because I'm going to mention some more details about that right at the end. In the meantime, here's the video. Okay, so you'd like to be hypnotised?
Yeah.
And you'd like to be hypnotised by me today?
Yeah.
Perfect. And what's your name?
I'm Nick.
Nick, look at your hand, look at the lines in your hand. Just put that sleeve down so you can see your hands. There you go. Just look at those lines in your hand. That's right. And as you stare at those lines, notice how, as I push that hand towards your forehead, that hand starts to drift towards your forehead all by yourself. All by itself. That's right. There you go. And you can feel that drawing closer and closer to your forehead. As I just push that towards your forehead now, feel that starting to get closer and closer and closer. That's right. And as your eyes change focus, just allow your eyes to close down now. That's right. And let that hand start to float towards your forehead all by itself. That's right. And you can feel those little fingers twitching now as your unconscious takes over that hand and moves that hand towards your forehead. And you know when that hand touches your forehead, your hand will drop down by your side, your head will drop down to your chest, your legs and back will support you. That's it. And sleep now, way down. Legs and back will support you. Legs and back will support you. That's right. That's right. And you can just stand up straight as you go down deeper inside now. That's right. And the deeper you go, the more relaxed you feel. The more relaxed you feel, the deeper you go. Drifting, sinking down even deeper still. Legs and back and supporting you all the time. That's right. And in a moment I'm going to count from 10 down to 1. With every count I count, as the breezes blow past, people walk past you and hear talking in the background, help you absorb you into this wonderful feeling of hypnosis now. As I count down from 10 down to 1, when I get to the number 1, your unconscious will follow all my suggestions. So 10, doubling that relaxation. 9, even deeper, even more relaxed. 8, 7, 10 times deeper. 5, 4, 3, so deep, so relaxed. 2, way down, deeper inside now. And 1. In a minute I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and the count of 3 you can open your eyes back with us, but every time I say the word sleep or deeper sleep, your head will drop back down to your chest, your eyes will close, and you'll go 10 times deeper and feel more relaxed inside into this wonderful hypnotic state. Nod your head that you understand. So 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. How'd that feel?
Okay.
And sleep now, way down, deeper, deeper, deeper relaxed, 10 times deeper. In a minute I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and the count of 3 you can open your eyes, you'll be back with us. But on the count of 3, you're going to realise that there's a beautiful helium balloon tied around that right wrist. That's right, there's a beautiful helium balloon tied around that right wrist, and it's pulling that hand up higher and higher, and you might even feel it starting to move now. That's right, there's a beautiful helium balloon tied to that right wrist. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. So you're enjoying this hypnosis? And do you know what's happening now?
Not really, no.
What's happening there to that hand?
It's raising.
It is, and it's getting funnier and funnier and funnier, isn't it? It's getting funnier and funnier and funnier. And as that balloon moves that hand towards your head, it gets even funnier. It becomes a belly laugh. It does, it becomes a belly laugh. You can't stop laughing. And you laugh louder and louder. And you start to laugh like a donkey. And now you laugh like a posh lady. And you don't know why you're laughing, do you? It just gets funnier and funnier still. And notice now, as I cut that string of that balloon and that hand drops down, when that hand drops down, you have jumping beans on your feet. And you can't stop jumping around. That's right. And you get funnier and funnier still. And come over this way, come over this way. And look at me and sleep. Way down, deeper, deeper, deeper relaxed. So I hope you liked that video. It was really packed with lots of information, so let's break that down in this tutorial now. First of all, a very important tip that because, you know, I get permission, are you happy enough to be filmed before I actually start the video, you don't usually see, but in this case, just at the beginning, a very quick thing you might have overlooked, she's handing her phone off to your friend. If someone has a costume on like that, or just their everyday apparel but they don't seem to have pockets, don't let them hold the phone. They may get very relaxed, as you saw that girl got very relaxed, and you don't want them dropping the phone and breaking it. That could be a very costly thing. So make sure any valuables, like maybe even, you know, glasses or phones, they're handed off to your friend or set down somewhere safely on a windowsill or the ground where they won't get picked up, where they won't get taken away before you start the hypnosis. That's tip number 1 right out of the barrel, and in just a few seconds of that video. Okay, so right off I go straight in with a handshake induction. Now, I was so quick to do that handshake induction, I didn't overly take into account her costume. But look how it didn't faze me. I just kept going with the pattern. As soon as I lifted her hand and saw her costume was in the way, I said, move your sleeve down. Now, the pattern interrupt was that smooth and that quick that in itself is enough to jar her into hypnosis. She's really on her way into hypnosis at that stage, so the costume being in the way didn't really affect the situation. I kept on going. I had that confidence that I knew what I was doing. It didn't faze me and go, oh, let's start again. You've got big sleeves. I just kept on moving. I moved her sleeve down, continued with the instructions. Now, where was the evidence that we were already on our way to hypnosis? Well, if you look carefully, her little fingers are already sort of twitching all by themselves. Now, some people could see that as just nerves. Maybe she was a bit nervous about being hypnotized. But there was nothing else about her body language, about her tone, that was giving the suggestion that she was really nervous and shaking. That little twitch in her fingers, to me, was a nice unconscious action. And it tells me that just even through the pattern interrupt, she was already well on her way to hypnosis. And there's more almost mistakes on my part after not noticing her sleeve. Notice how I say, look at how your hand drifts all by yourself instead of all by itself. Again, it doesn't faze me. I know I messed up and I just correct myself and keep going. She doesn't know what was happening, and if anything, a little bit of confusion probably wouldn't hurt the situation. That helps her conscious mind keep busy thinking, what did he mean to say there? Well, the unconscious mind is listening to the hypnotic side of things and going into trance nicely. So never worry about making mistakes. Just keep the flow going and trust in the process. It will work. So I'm totally and constantly monitoring for little unconscious actions, or her being aware of unconscious actions. And there's a beautiful one in there as I'm getting her hand to move towards her face. Did you notice it? She giggles. Now, it just might be passed off very quickly by most people, but that is a nice unconscious action, because that's telling me that she's going, wow, something's happening to my hand here. it's an unconsciously, she's now unconsciously aware of something happening that she's not aware of doing consciously, if that tongue twister makes sense. So that's a nice green flag that she's going into trance. She's enjoying the experience. I haven't made some silly joke that she's laughing at. Just me moving her hand towards her head and just letting her hand now be taken over by her unconscious mind is amusing to her, and that is wonderful news moving forward. So again, always look out for all the little subtleties with your client. Don't take your eyes off your client. I'm always, you'll see me in the video sort of looking around from time to time, because I'm just making sure that nobody's going to bump into her or walk past us and disturb what we're doing. But I'm always calibrating her, I'm always listening to her, I'm always watching her, and that's no more evident than when she's, you know, focusing on her hand. I hear those little giggles. It's beautiful. As I close her eyes down, thanks to her nice, very prominent, eyelashes, it's very clear that her eyelids are flickering and her fingers are continuing to twitch. So if we needed any more signs that she was going into trance, she's giving us beautiful signs. And that is, again, a great green flag for saying this process is working. Now here comes the very important health and safety side of things. As I tell her to sleep, notice how she becomes very relaxed and almost her legs seem to buckle away from her. So quickly you see me putting my hand on her shoulder, and as she relaxes I grab her other shoulder. So I'm again never taking my eyes off her during that crucial bit where she could melt totally into relaxation. I keep my calm and tell her, your legs will support you and you can stand up as you go even deeper. So that becomes an instruction to her that she can, firm up on her legs and stand properly. Again, these are very important instructions that you give to people, especially if they're standing up. If you have any doubt about doing an induction like this or any of the inductions, get the subject to sit down so that there's less chance of them falling or collapsing or melting into the floor. And that brings me back to the idea of handing off the mobile phone that I talked at the top about, because if she had been holding a mobile phone and she was very relaxed, she would have smashed her phone. So again, very important. The subject's health and safety is 100% in your hands when you're hypnotizing someone. As she's drifting through the deepener, I go on to utilize everything that's happening all around. You can see her hair blowing in the wind, and you can hear, hopefully off camera, people are walking past. So even though her eyes are closed and she can't see people walking past, and she might even not be aware of the wind, but I'd still utilize that by saying, as the wind blows through your hair and as people walk past, just continue to go into hypnosis. So utilize everything that's going around you to make sure that if it's in any way on their radar, it's utilized to help them go into trance. I then wake her up and she opens her eyes and I says, "How's that?" And she goes, "Okay." And she's quite tranced out at that stage and quite relaxed in the way she's speaking. So when I tell her to close her eyes down again, she goes in quickly. You're almost stopwatching and checking for how quickly she goes back into trance to measure how well that process happens. So again, everything's telling me the hypnosis has happened and she is in a hypnotic trance. But now's the time to test. So I move into the first skit and tell her there's a balloon tied to your wrist. Once again, she giggles as I just tap her wrist. I'm using both a verbal suggestion and by tapping it, almost suggest that I'm tying the ribbon around there, and she giggles and laughs at the thought of it. Don't get put off as if, oh my goodness, she's not in trance, because she's laughing. People are not zombies. They don't zone out completely when you put them into trance. So they're still listening to everything you're saying. They're still responding and thinking about everything you're saying. They have to be able to accept that suggestion. Again, a lot of people come up to me and say, oh, when you're in trance, are you like a zombie and you can't think for yourself and you can't, react for yourself? As you see, beautiful example in this video, because she's laughing and giggling at the thought of a balloon tied around her wrist. So I tell her to wake up, and she wakes up, and I say, I sort of draw her attention. You see the camera moving around, and I draw her attention. So I'm looking at her, and she's not really, looking at her arm, and yet already her arm is floating all by itself. Well, not all by itself. She's making it do, but at an unconscious level, so she's not aware of it. And I even say to her, I draw her attention to that and say, "What's happening now?" And she goes, "I don't know." And I say, "Look at that arm." And that arm is floating up. And she's amazed by it. She's clearly not doing it consciously. So again, I continue the skit and move on to the next level of a skit and say, look how it's getting funnier. And as soon as I give that suggestion, there's no eye closure to go back into that sort of eye closed state. She finds it amusing, and it's beautiful to see. She laughs and giggles, and I expand on that and utilize again that skit is working. Bottom line is, this is the testing. We've tested, and the hand moving up proves that she's in hypnosis and she's accepting the suggestions. I move on to the giggle and really have lots of fun with the giggling. And then, just to finish that off, I say, now you've got jumping beans in your feet. Now, she didn't overly understand that, and I had to sort of, cajole her along in that suggestion by saying, you can't stop moving because your feet are moving because of the jumping beans. So there's lots of things that we learnt in this video today. There's the health and safety side of it. There's the looking after possessions. They're looking out for the beautiful green flags that are happening. There's about the calibration. So lots of stuff in there. Now, I've run through a lot of terms very fast there, and maybe you didn't pick up on everything. There are other videos on things like fractionization, more details on the handshake induction. But if you really want to learn this thing, you want to get a good couple of days training in it. And I offer a training program just for people like you. If you're interested in learning to train, or just if you're an experienced maybe hypnotherapist and want to understand more on the street hypnosis side, I do mentoring as well. So contact me. All the details for contacting me are in the description section below. So please do reach out. Please do contact me if you're interested in really getting the nitty-gritties and learning more about hypnosis, or learning more to expand your hypnosis tools and techniques if you already are a hypnotherapist, for instance. Like I said at the beginning, make sure you give it a thumbs up, make sure you give it a like, and don't forget to click the big red subscribe button and the grey notification bell right next to that button so you get notified when a new video comes out from myself. And please utilize the comment section. I really want to hear from you. It's been a pleasure talking you through this video. I hope you really liked it, and look forward to making another video for you. I'll release a new video every Sunday, so watch out for next week's as well. See you next week.